Part 38. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 372. In the northern immortal territory, news of the annihilation of major saint clans continued to spread. In just a few days, all the saints in the entire northern immortal territory were wiped out. There are no more saints on the land of the northern immortal territory. Our northern immortal territory got rid of the ancient tribe. Those saints who enslaved us are all dead now. This is the northern immortal territory belonging to the human race. That's great, the sky has eyes. On the land of northern immortal territory, all human races are now overjoyed. Countless sects are celebrating. The streets, alleys, mountains, and forests, almost everywhere there are people are full of joy. Since the arrival of the saint race, the human race has lost its freedom for too long. Even the arrogant immortal kings in the immortal era had to become slaves of the holy Deo forces, let alone ordinary people. This battle, liberate the northern immortal territory. From today on, the northern immortal territory is a place protected by the Lord of the Wild Sky. Anyone who dares to violate the territory will be killed without mercy. At the same time, in the Wild Sky Alliance, the order was spread again. This time, the words of the Wild Sky Alliance are addressed to the holy forces outside the northern immortal territory. The Lord of Desolate Sky, is this the great emperor of our human race? It must be so. After razing the Yang Forbidden Land and annihilating the imperial and royal families, we, the human race, finally have a savior. Lord of Desolate Sky. Lord of Desolate Sky. In the northern immortal territory, for a time, all the people in the 5 territories were chanting the name of the Lord of the Wild Sky. Now everyone knows that the Golden Winged Dapen clan, the King-Blooded Tengu clan, the Sky Eagle Royal clan, etc. were all wiped out. In the shocking battle that took place in the northern wilderness, even the holy emperor-level figures fell. Even the Yang Forbidden Land was bulldozed. Therefore, in the eyes of the world, although they have never seen the Lord of Desolate Heaven, they all believe that he must be an invincible human emperor in heaven and earth. The news quickly spread throughout the entire fairyland. The 3 major regions, Central Immortal Territory, Western Immortal Territory, and East Immortal Territory, are adjacent to the Northern Immortal Territory and are the fastest to receive news. It seems that the Snow Emperor is not dead, she has become stronger. Will she call herself the Lord of the Wild Sky in this life? In the Eastern Immortal Territory, in a top-secret place, a powerful man with a dormant aura, like a giant beast from the wild, is whispering. In the past, everyone in the world took action, and there were several emperors who participated in the encirclement and suppression, but none of them killed her. In this life, she has risen in the lower reaches of the years, and she actually has the ability to bulldoze the Forbidden Land. How terrifying! Somewhere in the Yang Forbidden Land, an old voice was also murmuring. After a long silence, the Forbidden Land let out a long sigh and said, "That woman can only be dealt with by people in the human world. Otherwise, she would probably be invincible in this world." At the same time, the Western Immortal Territory. On this great plain, there are countless temples and countless Buddhist lands. The entire Western Immortal Territory has extremely strange landforms, thousands of miles of plains, but in the far west, there is a mountain standing tall. It is called the Buddhist and Taoist Spiritual Mountain. Today, on the Lingshan Mountain, Buddha's light shines all over the world. From today on, all monks are not allowed to enter the northern immortal realm to preach. In the past, the Snow Emperor was disrespectful to me, the Buddha. For now, don't offend him. The words come from a giant Buddha. The whole story of this war attracted the attention of people all over the world. The world does not know what happened in the great northern wilderness. The world can only see, the Snow Emperor's battle flag is born, the Imperial clan allied forces attack, and are eventually wiped out. Therefore, naturally, all regions regard the Lord of the Wild Sky as the Snow Emperor. This fits perfectly with their logic. Moreover, the former Snow Emperor was already a heaven-defying figure who killed all races by himself. Now that he has returned, with such power, the world feels that it is acceptable. For a time, all the major immortal realms believed that the Snow Emperor was reborn, had supreme cultivation, and proclaimed himself the Lord of the Wild Sky. Countless powerful people in the world are now silent when facing the northern immortal territory. Even though many imperial and royal families who were originally eager to go to the northern immortal territory and support the golden-winged Dapen clan are now completely silent. The imperial clan, the royal clan, etc. were all destroyed, the emperor was defeated, and the forbidden land of Yang was bulldozed. No one dares to bear such a price. Eons ago, the Snow Emperor's white clothes were stained with blood and overwhelmed all races. Today, the world still dare not look away. And at this moment, a vast black ocean. The sea water is dark and clear, and there are no winds and waves on the sea surface. This boundless ocean is like a piece of stagnant water, with never any waves. There are only layers of strange and unpredictable chi that gather and disperse, and no seabirds appear in the sky over thousands of miles of sea. It is like a forbidden land of death that no one is allowed to set foot on. The vastness. At this moment, a girl in white clothes suddenly appeared above the ocean. She was graceful, and her face was peerless. Standing in this airspace, she looked towards the sea ahead. If the sea below her senses something, from time to time there will be a stream of strange and ominous gray mist that seems to flood her. At this time, 1 or 2 butterflies would float out from her sleeves, emitting a soft light and blocking all erosion for her. Yang Forbidden Sea, the Yang Forbidden Island area in front is the place occupied by those demons in the world. A flash of anxiety flashed in Yun-11's big eyes. Because it is too far away, from here, those realms are like black sesame seeds scattered on the sea. But Yun-11 knew very well that there was the training ground of those demons from the world, which was very terrifying. Entering the underworld from the Yang world is also a taboo for people in the Yang world. The underworld is the reflection of the past in the Yang world. If you go too deep, you will get lost, be polluted by the breath of the underworld, and become a semi-yin spirit. Almost only those who have transcended the holy realm and need to enter the avenue of yin and yang blending, or some people who are desperate in the Yang world, will set foot here. However, even if they enter this place, people in the Yang realm almost only dare to practice and wait in the forbidden sea ahead, which is close to the Yang realm. She still remembered that when she escaped into this underworld, she was almost discovered by the beings on those islands. Those people are often powerful and ruthless. She hid in the deepest part of the underworld just to stay away from these people so as not to be discovered. Don't be afraid, no matter how powerful the demons in the world are, they are not as powerful as the great demon king. As long as I find the location of these demons in the world, go back and tell the great demon king, he will come to hunt these people. She encourages herself. In her understanding, the devils from the earth have been divided into 2 types. One kind of devil is called Li Fan, whom she calls the big devil. The other type is called other demons. Other demons in the world are quite afraid of the underworld and generally dare not go deep into it. Like the big devil, they can open up a small world in the North Fairyland. She has never seen it before. It is really terrible. Thinking that she was now a member of the great demon king, she suddenly gained some courage and immediately headed towards the sea ahead. Not long after, those black sesame seeds on the sea quickly grew in size. There are countless forbidden islands. Countless taboo auras come from it. She approached cautiously. Not every island has a demon from the underworld. Their location is difficult to determine. She searched carefully. In a blink of an eye, 3 days passed. She has penetrated deeper and deeper into this forbidden island, with a butterfly or 2 always resting on her shoulder. Because the taboo atmosphere, ominousness, and weirdness here are getting stronger and stronger. Huh? There seems to be a big formation ahead. Suddenly, Yun-11's pretty face changed slightly. At a glance, we can see that the islands are dotted all over. 36 islands surround a huge island. On that giant island, the endless aura is rolling and spreading at this moment. There was extremely strong yin qi, which turned into a giant python, seeming to swallow the sky. There is boundless yang qi, turning into a spiritual bird, as if evolving. Yin and yang are blending. The devil is entering the fusion of yin and yang, the devil in the realm of fusion of the Tao. Yun-11's eyes were suddenly shocked. Only when the two qi of yin and yang merge together can we stand on the holy path. Who is spying on me? At this moment, a mute and indifferent voice sounded from the giant island. In an instant, it seemed as if the energy from the heavens was slashing down towards Yungzi. On Yun-11's body, a group of butterflies flapped their wings, and in an instant, Yun-11 was out of the range of their attack. Not good. The devil discovered him. Yungzi turned around and left. She was extremely fast and had not yet penetrated deeply into the area, so she quickly left Qinli. And the giant island seemed to be silent for a moment. This person seems not to be a ghost from the underworld, Chase. As his voice rang out, among the 36 sub-islands in that island territory, there was suddenly an arrogant being flying into the sky on one island. It was a middle-aged man, wearing a blue robe with yin and yang patterns embroidered on it. Peeping on the master's practice, he deserves to be killed. This man quickly pursued Yun-11 in the direction he left. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 373. Now. The vast sea exudes countless taboo auras. This sea area seems to be cursed, with strange and ominous auras twisting from time to time. Even the most powerful creature in the world is extremely afraid of the forbidden sea. Although the sea area looks extremely wide, if a major cultivator stands on the Black Coast and looks out, he can vaguely see the other distant continent. That land is not black. Full of light, full of tranquility. At this moment, countless demon cultivators are gathering on the black coastline. Huge black longships were transported out of the dusty palace and reappeared here. In addition, many magic craftsmen are building ships on the shore. Ordinary warships simply cannot cross the forbidden sea. Only longships made of the black sycamore trees growing in the northern part of the demon realm can resist the ominous and strange erosion. Countless demons were busy, while a middle-aged man in black robes stood on a rock on the shore. The wind and waves are blowing, and the smell of taboo is mixed with the salty sea breeze, making people feel fearful. Chief, do we really want to give up the demon realm and attack the immortal realm? A young man stood behind him, looking at the vast sea in front of him, with a trace of anxiety in his eyes. No choice. The middle-aged man's face was calm, and he said, "The Yang disaster should have come a long time ago, but I don't know how it exists. It turned into an ominous island, guarding the heart of the forbidden sea, and has been suppressing the impact. This time, the wave mixed with this yang energy finally crossed the ominous island with intertwined lines of Othello rushes into the demonic realm." His eyes were filled with helplessness. "We can only go to the fairyland." Hearing this, the young man behind him also fell into deep silence. No, someone is flying over the forbidden sea area. At this time, on a bunker on the coast, a demon cultivator suddenly spoke loudly. Suddenly, all the demon cultivators on the coast stopped in surprise and looked over the sea. I saw a white figure passing quickly over the sea at an extremely fast speed. Vaguely, around the figure, there were some strange butterflies flashing past. Is she heading towards the underworld? She can actually cross the forbidden sea? It's incredible. Is she the king of our demonic realm? No, it doesn't seem like. The demon cultivators were speculating and wondering. The pupils of the middle-aged man on the reef shrank even more. Not afraid of taboos, not afraid of weirdness, could he be that kind of strong person? He murmured. And at this moment, over the forbidden sea, Yongzi is so fast. Hurry up, or the devil will catch up. There was a hint of worry on her beautiful face. And as she continued to cross the forbidden sea, countless strange auras suddenly swept up from the sea below, turning into a cloud of grey mist, almost swallowing her. But, at this moment, those strange butterflies were lingering around her, emitting countless peaceful lights. The grey fog breaks away and cannot be contaminated. She moves fast. And not long after she left, over the forbidden sea, another figure appeared. This is a middle-aged man. He is wearing a blue Taoist robe, his aura is very powerful, and he is holding a jade bottle in his hand. The jade bottle emitted a strange light, protecting him from the strange aura. I've locked you in, you can't escape. He quickly crossed this forbidden sea. 3 days later, Yongzi finally appeared in Nangxian domain. She breathed a long sigh of relief when she set foot on the land of immortal realm. No. The devil in the world is still chasing me. Ah, I have to find the big devil. She set off again hastily. However, after entering the immortal realm, the restrictive power of the forbidden sea has disappeared. She can travel hundreds of thousands of miles with one step. Soon, she rushed to the northern immortal territory. Head straight to the small mountain village in northern Xinjiang. After a long time, she finally arrived in front of the small mountain village. Finally reached. Yun 11 breathed a long sigh of relief. She immediately walked into the small village. Now, Baizianyu, northern border, small mountain village. In the early morning, beautiful sunlight shines through the window into Li Fan's room. Li Fan woke up as usual, stretched out his hand to rub Xiaobai, who was still sleeping beside his legs, and then stood up. Walking out the door, the morning sun is shining all over the yard, which makes people feel quite good. Master, wash your face. Subakian brought water for Li Fan, and Li Fan washed up naturally. After washing his face, the water was taken away by Lu Rang. Really lazy. Li Fan watched Lu Rang using his own washing water to water the grass he raised, and sighed, Lu Rang is very diligent, why can't he water the grass himself? Don't forget to water those 2 trees and the grass too. Li Fan pointed to the 2 trees in the corner of the courtyard. One of the world trees is already lush with branches and leaves, as high as 2 meters. Every leaf is green and radiant. The other one is naturally the Kirin tree that regenerated from the diseased tree last time. When planting, Li Fan put a lot of boiled tea leaves at the roots of the diseased tree, so it is growing well now. What was originally a willow-like branch has now grown as thick as a forearm, about half a meter long. Little Kylin likes to play next to old trees. For this reason, Lin Jujhan specially made a nest for little Kylin, right next to the tree stump. As for the other grass, it was the one that little wolf Qian brought to the village. Lu Rang found a broken pot to plant it, and it grew well. Master, don't worry. Lu Rang agreed while taking the remaining wash water and watering it on the 2 trees and the grass. Li Fan also nodded. Lu Rang took good care of the flowers and vegetables in the small courtyard. Master, the eggs are ready. At this time, Gong Ya and Nanfeng came out of the kitchen with breakfast. A small pot of eggs and a pot of millet porridge. There was also a plate of bear jerky. The pheasants, snakes, and bears that he had hunted in the mountains a few days ago were not finished at the time. Li Fan brought some back and distributed some to the villagers, and made some bear jerky for breakfast. Ordinary people's breakfast is so simple and monotonous. At this time, outside the small courtyard, Yongzi finally arrived, and she looked at Wu Erxianting, feeling extremely anxious. I'm so scared, I have to face the big devil again. Woohoo, it's okay, the big devil is not evil, not evil. She comforted herself, took courage, and said, "Mo no, Li Fan, are you at home?" In the small courtyard. Li Fan just sat down and was about to eat. Suddenly he heard a sound coming from outside, and he froze immediately. It's over. Yongzi is coming? The last time Yongzi came to collect butterfly, she told Li Fan that she knew Li Fan came from another world. Moreover, she knew there were others from another world. Li Fan was frightened at that time. In his opinion, the other world must refer to the earth. Therefore, he asked Yongzi to find those travelers for him so that he could stay away. After all, among the countless time travelers, I am definitely the weakest. With a level of chi refining, I am almost the same as a mortal. Other time travelers are often very invincible. He firmly believed that if time travelers discovered each other, they would kill each other at all costs. Because the secret of time travel must not be known to anyone. He has always been worried about this matter. As soon as Yun 11 arrived, he felt a little scared. Li Fan immediately gritted his teeth and said, "If you are at home, come in." Yongzi pushed open the door and entered. She was extremely nervous when she entered the courtyard, because the last time she came, chickens, fish, spiders, etc. scared her to tears. This time, she didn't dare to look around, but looked at Li Fan. Li Fan also looked at her faintly. "Auntie, don't give me bad news." Li Fan prayed in his heart. Now, he feels like a student who is about to see the results of the college entrance examination. Nervous, so nervous. When Yongzi saw the look on Li Fan's face, which seemed very ugly, she suddenly became even more worried. It's over. Is the big devil angry because he came back too late and didn't do his job well? Do you want to punish yourself? She spoke weakly and said, I'm back, I found those people." Upon hearing this, Li Fan was shocked on the spot. "Have you really found the time traveler?" Yongzi saw that Li Fan's face seemed even more ugly, and she suddenly became even more frightened. She couldn't help crying and said, "I've come a long way. I didn't delay on purpose, I'm alone, and I'm still being hunted. Don't blame me, okay?" "What? Are the time travelers still chasing Yun 11? Li Fan's heart almost jumped out of fear. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 374. Li Fan's heart is beating wildly. Yongzi actually found the time traveler. And he was also being chased by time travelers. It seems it's over. Moreover, will the other party chase him to the small mountain village? He was suddenly filled with worry. Wrong. At this time, Li Fan suddenly thought that a weak woman like Yongzi could escape from being chased by the opponent, which meant that the person who came to pursue him. He's probably not a powerful cultivator. After all, I am at the first level of chi refining, at worst, I will have to fight. What if the opponent is more useless than me? Thinking of this, he felt settled. Then he looked at Yun 11 and said gently, "How could I blame you? Don't be afraid. I am here and I will protect you. No one can hurt you." Hearing this, Yun 11's big eyes suddenly blinked, and the tears in his eyes stopped. "Big devil, don't you blame yourself?" "Ugh," he also said he would protect himself, "the big devil seems to be quite warm." She wiped her tears and said, I'm not scared anymore, but that person is still chasing me. Do you want to prepare in advance? If the Demon King is not prepared, what if he gets injured during the fight?" Li Fan smiled and said, "Don't worry, this place is remote and he probably won't be able to find it. Besides, if he comes after you, don't be afraid. Anyway, it's a fight? He didn't know. The moment he finished saying this, somewhere in the sky in the immortal realm, a middle-aged man who was flying fast suddenly stopped inexplicably. He had a strange feeling for no reason, and after a pause, he moved on. But not long after, he appeared right there. What happened? Why did I lose my sense of direction? I can't find any trace of her. This middle-aged man suddenly doubted his life. What is going on? In the small courtyard. Hearing Li Fan's words, Yun 11 was completely relieved. The big devil seems to be very confident. Yes, he is so fierce, most demons are definitely no match for him. By the way, where is the person you found? Is it far from here? Li Fan then asked, and he was still very cautious about this. If those time travelers are very close to you, you may not have to consider moving. Yongzi Road. It's quite far. We have to go out to sea, past the demon realm, and then, we're on an island. She described. The group of disciples around him were shocked when they heard this. Going to sea? You have to go through the entire fairyland. Nanfeng murmured. The sea she's talking about is the Forbidden Strait, and she has to cross the demon realm, to reach those terrifying islands deep in the Forbidden Ocean. Xuanhuan came from the demon realm, so she knew better. At this moment, she blinked her big eyes and looked at Yun 11 with curiosity. This beautiful sister is so powerful. I went to those forbidden islands that no one dares to set foot on. So, could it be that the person who was chasing her, as she said just now, was someone from the Forbidden Island? Those people are all involved in big secrets. Even the source of Yang disaster is related to that area. Thinking of this, she immediately looked at Li Fan, a trace of thought flashing in her big eyes. It turns out that the eldest brother sent the beautiful sister to explore the source of the Yang disaster. He wanted to solve the Yang disaster? She felt that she had guessed a piece of the truth. Master has indeed been planning it for a long time. His old man lent the black and white Holy Emperor the supreme opportunity, probably just for today, right? Zhang Li was also full of excitement. When Li Fan heard Yun 11's description, he immediately felt relaxed. He couldn't understand what Yun 11 was talking about, and he had no idea about the territory of the immortal realm. After all, he is just a country boy and has never traveled far. However, as soon as he heard that he was going to go to sea and go to some island, Li Fan felt that it was really far away. It's good to be far away, it's wonderful to be far away, it's best not to see those travelers in this life. Li Fan felt the pressure disappear and immediately smiled. No matter, come, let's have breakfast together. Eat when you should, drink when you should, and continue to live your ordinary life, that is the right thing to do. Hearing this, Yun 11 did not dare to refuse, so he had to walk over and sit next to Li Fan. As soon as she sat down, her eyes swept over the dried meat on the table, and her beautiful eyes suddenly froze. This meat. The smell that exudes. What kind of meat is this? She couldn't help but ask. Master hunted this from the mountains. Sister Yongzi, you were not here at the time. What a pity. Master also made snake soup, braised bear paws, and beggar's chicken. Zi Ling introduced enthusiastically. Yun 11 was slightly startled and said, "Is there a spider?" "Ah, sister, you know. There was a big spider at that time, but it couldn't be eaten." Zi Ling said. Yongzi was immediately convinced. It's really the meat of the bear in the Tianluo Mountains. She never wanted to be discovered by the beings in the Yang realm, so she hid behind the Yin realm and explored some situations in the Yin realm. She has also explored the Tianluo Mountains, so she knows that there are 3 holy emperors among them, and they are related to the people of Yangjian. Now, has the great demon king started hunting down those people related to the demon in the underworld? She was trembling, but at the same time, she was inexplicably happy. If the master is powerful, he will be much safer. Li Fan grabbed 2 eggs for her and made a bowl of millet porridge. After taking the eggs and millet porridge, Yongzi trembled. Ah, this egg. She subconsciously glanced at the group of chickens next to her. Phoenix egg? Can I actually eat phoenix eggs? This is not an ordinary mixed blood mountain phoenix or other spiritual bird. The purity of its blood is absolutely very high. Moreover, it is a real living being in the world of Xiaoyang, not a yin spirit. Even in the world of the sun, the phoenix is a mythical creature. It is an invincible creature that stands in the clouds and is almost impossible to find. Only in some underworlds, where reflections of the past remain, can there be some ghost spirits and phoenixes. However, even if those phoenixes are invincible in the underworld, they will be destroyed by the Yang tribulation once they enter the underworld, because everything in the underworld is like a ghost, just a shadow of the past, a spirit without support. The aura contained in this egg, even in the underworld, is definitely a highly sought-after treasure. The purity of the phoenix bloodline is definitely very high. The origin and cultivation of the great demon king are simply unimaginable. Moreover, he is actually so kind to me. Moreover, this porridge clearly contains a magical atmosphere and has endless benefits. At this moment, she suddenly felt that although it was really hard to go to the Forbidden Sea, it was worth it. She peeled the eggs, her hands shaking. Immediately afterwards, she started to eat eggs and drink porridge. Instantly, she felt her taste buds bloom. So delicious. She couldn't help but feast. However, she was in a hurry to eat eggs and suddenly choked. As soon as Li Fan saw it, he knew that the little girl was in a hurry and was choking on the egg yolk. He immediately said, "Gong Ya, bring some soy milk to Yun 11. When Gong Ya heard this, she was startled and asked anxiously, "Master, what is soy milk?" Li Fan was stunned for a moment. But he realized immediately that Gong Ya and others had not drank soy milk yet. "I haven't done it for a long time." He immediately smiled and said, "Soy milk is just a drink. Let me teach you how to grind soy milk." Hearing this, Gong Ya immediately became happy and said, "Thank you, Master." "Master, can I take a look? I also want to know, what is soy milk, how to grind it?" "Sounds like fun." Xiling, Subakian and others are also very curious. "Good." Li Fan agreed immediately. He went to the kitchen and took out the soy milk grinder. Grinding soy milk is very simple. Li Fan started to operate. As he grinded the soy milk, everyone was stunned. Because, they clearly felt that while Li Fan was grinding the soy milk, the countless source energy between heaven and earth seemed to be evolving thousands of times under his hands, and finally melted into the liquid. It's like it was created by heaven and earth. What kind of divine liquid is this? It seems that the Supreme Avenue is smelted from it. Long Xuanhuan looked solemn. While the master is grinding soy milk, he is clearly showing the power of heaven and earth. He is using heaven and earth as a millstone. King Chen's eyes were filled with excitement. "Master is really awesome, this is another supreme road. What he gave me is another supreme smooth road." Gong Ya was so excited that her chest trembled slightly. The art of grinding soy milk is no simpler or inferior to the tea ceremony. Yun 11's beautiful eyes were also full of surprise. The big devil is really powerful. He can clearly destroy a world at will. Everyone was a little stunned. I saw the milky white liquid slowly flowing out, exuding a rich fragrance. Li Fan immediately made a bowl of thick soy milk, handed it to Yun 11, and said with a smile, "Try it and see how it tastes." Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 375. Yongzi subconsciously took the soy milk, but her heart trembled slightly. The big devil is so kind, he actually grinds soy milk for himself. No, this soy milk, could it be some kind of poison? However, even if it was poison, he didn't have the courage to refuse it. Moreover, the big devil wanted to kill him, but it was just a thought. Before the great demon king, he had nothing to lose. Your life belongs to the other party. She immediately stopped worrying and took a sip of the soy milk. When the soy milk entered her mouth, she felt it was extremely delicious. Delicious, delicious. She spoke excitedly. She had never tasted anything so delicious. At this moment, she actually felt that all the aura in her body was stimulated by this bowl of soy milk. She felt that she was about to break through to the realm of Tao fusion. Beyond the holy path. She instantly understood that the great demon king was trying to improve his cultivation. Could it be that the great demon king has long known that the one on the other side of the forbidden sea is a demon in the fusion realm, so he must improve his cultivation to the corresponding level so that he can serve him? The big devil is really scary. While she was thinking about it, she had already finished the drink. Her face turned slightly red, and she said, "Can I do it again?" Li Fan smiled and said, "Of course. Master, I want it too. Master, I want a bowl too." Suddenly, a group of disciples also spoke eagerly. Li Fan immediately served them soy milk one by one. So rich, so sweet, and delicious. Zi Ling spoke happily, and at the same time, her breath suddenly shook. At this moment, all the breath in her body was stimulated, from Yushu to the sea of consciousness, and the fog in the sea of consciousness was broken away. At this moment, she clearly felt that the fog in her mind dissipated, and she saw herself bound by invisible shackles. Now, she has become a saint, and only by breaking through the shackles can she become a saint. Xiling became a saint. This soy milk is really immortal liquid and fine wine. Long Xuanhuan was also excited and immediately drank a big bowl. Boom! He also entered the realm of breaking the mist and became a saint. In his mind, what was trapped by the shackles were dragon souls. Emperor's formation breaking song, maybe I can try a new chapter. Nanfan murmured, she also became a saint, and what was trapped in the shackles in the mist were endless musical notes. Dugu Yuking broke through the fog and saw the magic swords trapped in shackles. What Qing Chen saw in the sea of consciousness was a self, each one like a Buddha. Lin Zhujian was shocked, because he found that after the fog cleared, the self in his mind turned into a ghost. Subakian broke through the fog, and a trace of confusion flashed in his eyes. Those selves trapped in shackles seemed to be strangers and familiar people. What Xian Ning saw was even more strange. Instead of seeing herself, she saw sections of buried and forgotten ancient poems. Only Zhang Li, at this moment, is closing his eyes, meditating, and trying his best to release himself from the shackles. Bang! In an instant, a shackle broke instantly. His self is beyond the shackles. He became a generation of chess sage. In an instant, everyone reached a great level. The excess soy milk was distributed to the big black dog, the little golden cow, the little unicorn, the old turtle, the little wolf Qian, etc. The big black dog got a bowl to himself and licked it clean. A group of small animals drank so much that you and I fought for it. The courtyard was very lively. Moreover, after drinking soy milk, the bloodline and realm of those small animals have been greatly improved. Everyone had breakfast and a beautiful day began. Yun 11 was also full. She stood up and said, "Then I'll leave first. Don't worry, I'll go back in a few days and I'll definitely find the others." Although the big devil seems to be easy to talk to, approachable, and even a little bit warm. But she knew very well that this kind of big devil was unpredictable. She had to remain in awe of him. Yes. You must do the things he arranged well, otherwise you will definitely die miserably. Li Fan warned. Pay attention to safety. If you can find those people, look for them. If you can't, it doesn't matter. The most important thing is to protect yourself. Do you know? Yun 11 nodded and said, I know. She left immediately. After a while, she returned to her manor. Master, you are finally back. Seeing Yungzi's return, the white tiger ancestor and others were very excited. Master, do you know that the Lord of Desolate Heaven bulldozed the Yang Forbidden Land and destroyed the Golden-Winged Dapen tribe and many imperial tribes? It was an unparalleled battle. Ancestor White Tiger excitedly reported to Yungzi the latest situation in the immortal realm. Talking about the bulldozing of the Yang Forbidden Land made his blood boil with excitement. Yun 11 shook his head and said, it's not some great battle. Master, he is just hunting. Hearing this, the White Tiger ancestor was startled. Does the master know about this? The forbidden areas were bulldozed, and the entire immortal domain was in panic. The Lord of the Wild Sky was just hunting? Moreover, it seems that the owner's attitude has changed a bit. In the past, when the master said the word master, it was with a hint of compulsion and helplessness. But this time, it seems natural, and even a little proud. Do you want this? Immediately afterwards, Yungzi began to retreat. Because of that bowl of soy milk, her realm has been loosened and she can hit the wrong Dao realm. The realm of Fusion Dao is a realm above the Holy Realm, not within the Holy Dao. And at this moment, in the airspace somewhere in the fairyland, the blue-robed Taoist holding the jade bottle was about to collapse. Almost a day has passed and we are still spinning in circles. I feel like I've lost my mind. Nima. He was speechless. He was an emperor, but he couldn't even find his direction? Who would believe this? Impressed. It can actually interfere with my sight and hearing. How can such an existence exist in the underworld? Could it be the Big Yin spirit? His face was extremely solemn. Because, at this moment, he thought of something. The Yangjian dynasty to which they originally belonged, when they discovered this underworld, they only occasionally sent people in to capture yin spirits. For this reason, they also set a trap. After the trap is set, catching yin spirits becomes very simple and the harvest is stable. But later, several yin spirits actually entered the yang world from this side of the underworld. Moreover, they all stirred up huge waves in the underworld. The imperial court has long concluded that there must be an extremely powerful yin spirit in this underworld, and all the yin spirits that enter the underworld should be related to this great yin spirit. The level of this great yin spirit should be very high, and its origins are extraordinary. If he can be caught, it will be of great benefit to the entire dynasty. However, the great yin spirit was hidden very deep. The dynasty had been waiting for 3 years, and 30 million years had passed in the underworld, but they had not found it at all. The underworld is just a broken reflection of the underworld, and the rules of time and space are both illusions. Therefore, 1 year in the underworld is 10 million years in the underworld. And the lifespan of each underworld will not exceed 36 million years. According to the epical lifespan of the underworld, in this life, this underworld will collapse, shrink, and perish. In this case, the Big Yin spirit will definitely not be able to hide, and will definitely find ways to escape into the Yang world. Could it be that the people who came to spy on the master's cultivation this time were sent by the great Yin spirit? A flash of greed suddenly flashed in his eyes. If you can catch this Big Yin spirit. He immediately took out the jade bottle and started transmitting messages towards the jade bottle. He can use this jade bottle to communicate with the owner who is in retreat in the Forbidden Sea. Soon, a voice came out from the jade bottle. At any cost, the Big Yin spirit that has been hidden the deepest must be forced out and caught. Hearing this, the blue-robed Taoist also nodded deeply. As you command. He left immediately. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 376. In a vast black wasteland. This area is shrouded in the aura of taboo and death. There are hundreds of thousands of miles of territory, but no one dares to set foot there. On the wasteland, at a glance, 9 black peaks stand like 9 mountains on the earth. The 9 mountains are extremely terrifying. Ordinary cultivators only need to take one look at these 9 mountains and their minds will be disturbed. Here is the only forbidden land in the central immortal domain, Jadi Mountain. The name of Jadi Mountain is known to everyone in the entire immortal domain. It can be called a forbidden place among forbidden places. Even Saint Emperor level figures dare not look sideways at Jadi Mountain. But today, on the wasteland in front of Jadi Mountain, a Taoist in blue robe suddenly walked over. He holds a jade vase in his hand and has an extraordinary aura. Arriving in front of Jadi Mountain, he said indifferently, "9 little bugs, come out quickly and greet me." The voice spread calmly throughout the 9 black mountains. In an instant, the mountains seemed to be trembling. It was as if there were extremely powerful beings all born at this moment. Soon, 8 figures appeared in front of Jadi Mountain. These 8 people are 8 emperors, coming from different ethnic groups. Unlike the 3 emperors in the Tianluo Mountains in the Yang Forbidden Land of the Northern Immortal Territory, the auras of these 8 people are extremely powerful, and there is almost no sign of decline. The 3 statues in the Tianluo Mountains are in danger due to lack of Yang energy. These 8 people are always prosperous. But at this moment, when they saw the blue-robed Taoist, they all became excited and overjoyed, and they all knelt down in an instant. Meet the envoy of God. Meet the envoy of God. The 8 emperors all knelt down. If this scene were to be seen by the world, their jaws would probably drop in shock. But at this moment, it really happened. Why are there only 8 of you? Is there another one? The blue-robed Taoist spoke coldly. One of the silver-haired old men said hurriedly, "Sir, Xuanhuan left Zhekong Mountain a few days ago and went to northern Xinjiang to rescue her lover. However, she came back seriously injured and is still unconscious. The world calls this place Jadi Mountain, but when faced with this blue-robed Taoist, they call themselves Juchong Mountain. He is extremely contemptuous of himself and dare not take advantage of it at all. And Xuanhuan is a member of the 9 Emperor Mountains. This is a secret that no one in the world knows." "Oh? What's going on? Is there anyone in this little underworld who can hurt her?" The blue-robed Taoist's face darkened. "Your Honor." The silver-haired old man gritted his teeth and said, "It's Zhang Shui. That ungrateful woman has reappeared. Now, she claims to be the Lord of the Desolate Sky, and she has bulldozed the Tianluo Mountains in the Northern Immortal Territory. The old spider, the long snake, and the black bear were all killed by her." There was a hint of fear on the faces of the 8 people. Even though they exist in the Yang Forbidden Land, when this name is mentioned now, they have to pay attention. That ungrateful yin spirit is not dead. The blue-robed Taoist was suddenly surprised in his eyes and said, "It shouldn't be. The whereabouts of her last drop of blood are unknown in the past. The master once gave a decree as a backup, but it didn't even kill her. He has a deep memory of Zhang Shui, the yin spirit. Because, in that era of hunting, this prey could almost compete with its master. In the end, it was Zhang Hanzhuang and others beside Zhang Shui who took action at the critical moment and defeated the yin spirit. It seems to Rushan that Zhang Shui is not dead. Take me to see Zhang Hanzhuang." He spoke immediately. Soon, the 8 emperors followed the blue-robed Taoist and walked into a huge palace inside a black mountain. In the palace, on a stone bed, a woman in white was lying numbly, and water flowed out from her skirt, which seemed to be a low-ranking official. She was completely incontinent. That day, she ran away from the Northern Immortal Territory in a crazy manner. Although she was not dead, she was like a demon. We were unable to save her. The white-haired old emperor sighed. Don't panic, let me take a look. The blue-robed Taoist spoke immediately, stepped forward, and a ray of light fell on Xuanhuan. In an instant, a wisp of white mist seemed to come from Xuanhuan's mind. She has been contaminated by the great weirdness of the underworld. What exactly did she see? The blue-robed Taoist was immediately startled, thought for a moment, and said. She saw the great terror of the underworld, so it was as if she was haunted by evil spirits. If you want to save her, you have to cut off this memory of hers. He had already seen that because Xuanhuan's memory was contaminated with the ominousness of the underworld, he fell into madness. He took out the jade bottle and waved it casually. In an instant, the great energy machine was cut down. Xuanhuan's body suddenly trembled. The next moment, she sat up tremblingly, her pale face filled with confusion. Greetings, my lord. When she saw the blue-robed Taoist, she knelt down. Where have you been? The blue-robed Taoist spoke in a deep voice. Xuanhuan thought hard and said, Northern Immortal Territory, Northern Wilderness. She said these words, but she found that she had forgotten everything about what happened in the great Northern Wilderness. I have cut off that memory for you, and it is tainted with weirdness. The blue-robed Taoist spoke calmly. Hearing this, Xuanhuan was immediately grateful and said. Thank you, sir. Sir, that bitch Zhang Shui dared to resist you in the past. Please give your order and we will attack Bida Wang. Her eyes were filled with hatred. As long as Zhang Shui doesn't die, she will feel uneasy. The blue-robed Taoist also nodded. If Zhang Shui is not eliminated, there will be a lot of trouble during the subsequent hunting. Moreover, Zhang Shui seems to be involved in the great mystery of the underworld, this deserves even more attention. Zhang Shui's ignorant yin spirit should naturally be killed, but before that, the palace of the true God should appear. In his hand, he took out a clay sculpture. The clay sculpture looks like a god sitting cross-legged. The surface of the clay sculpture is quite rough, but it can still be seen that it is very extraordinary. Seeing this, the 9 emperors of Jedi Mountain were all shocked and knelt down one after another. Meet the true god Xuanhuan. Meet the true god Xuanhuan. They shouted. Xuanhuan true god, is the name of the god represented by this clay sculpture. When the statue of the true god appears, the temple of the true god emerges. You must know that the reason why these emperors are able to reach today is inseparable from the temple of the true god. Half a month later. Central Fairyland. Just like the Northern Immortal Territory, the Central Immortal Territory is also divided into 5 sub-regions, the Eastern Territory, the Western Territory, the Southern Territory, and the Northern Territory Zhongzhou. Just today, in Zhongzhou, the Central Immortal Domain, above the sky, sacred golden light suddenly emitted. The light shines for billions of miles. Boundless, the entire Central Immortal Territory was enveloped. It was like a wild air reappearing, with a violent flow of holy energy mixed with primitive principles sweeping out. Even, in the endless golden light, there is an aura that does not belong to this world. The entire Central Immortal Territory was shaken by a huge earthquake. In an instant, all the creatures in the 5 areas of the Central Immortal Domain were shocked. On this day, everyone in the world was looking up at the sky. It is as if there is some kind of law that distorts time and space in the golden light. Even if it is an area millions of miles away, as long as you look up, you can see the source of the light. Like a supreme sun. What's going on? What is the thing that appears in the sky? The aura of the immortal realm is changing. This aura seems to contain a kind of energy that makes me tremble and excited. Oh my God, is this the divine spirit about to manifest? All living beings tremble. What kind of light is this? I vaguely feel that my cultivation has undergone a qualitative change under this light. A saint murmured and looked towards the sky, his eyes filled with shock. Being illuminated by this holy light actually gave me a sense of awakening. In that golden light is the true Tao. An elegant monk looked towards the sky with burning eyes. Ha ha, it's true, the legend is true. On the day when the golden light shines, when the golden age comes, the gods will bestow blessings on the common people. I will live my second life, ha ha ha. In a mountain somewhere, an old man who was almost withered was dancing with joy and excitement to the extreme. The entire central immortal territory was filled with a roar, as countless creatures were worshipping towards the center of golden light in the sky. And then, in the endless light on the sky, it seemed that a divine palace was vaguely manifested. Standing on the nine heavens, overlooking the world, illuminating hundreds of millions of territories. Infinitely terrifying. Is that the abode of the gods? Even the Holy Emperor cannot manifest such power. What level of existence is he? Terrible. Time flies and everyone is guessing. But at this moment, all the major imperial clans in the central immortal domain were ecstatic. A piece of news spread from a certain imperial clan. The Golden Age has arrived ahead of schedule, and the palace of the true God has appeared, an eternal great opportunity has arrived. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 377. The great changes in the central immortal realm have attracted the attention of everyone in the world. The house of the true God is said to be the residence of the gods. On the day when the temple appears, when the yang energy is filled, as long as you worship sincerely, you will be favored by the gods and see the world above the holy way. In this life, who will you get great blessings? In the central immortal territory, in the eastern realm, in a Taoist palace, the energy is infinite, the colorful light flows, and it is extremely magical. In the Taoist palace, a middle-aged man was sitting on the throne with great majesty. He is the holy lord of the Peacock clan, Cultivation. The Peacock clan is the imperial clan in the east of the central immortal territory. The reason why thousands of ancient tribes have returned from the hidden places to wait for the palace of the true God, to welcome the golden age, you must not miss it. Cultivation was extremely solemn and said, assembling the talents of all generations in the clan, I will personally lead the team to the palace of the true God, welcome the statue of the true God, and pray for our clan. Central Immortal Territory, Southern Border. In the land of southern Xinjiang, the temperature is much higher than in other regions. Because, there are 10 suns in the sky. 9 of them are not real suns, but the holy palaces of the southern Xinjiang imperial clan, the Golden Crow clan. The 9 holy palaces hang in the sky, side by side with the sun, overlooking the world. At this moment, in the most central one among the 9 holy palaces, at least 20 people gathered. The person sitting above him was an old man. He was like a sunset. Although he seemed gentle, there was a terrifying power of fire dormant. In addition, there are a group of middle-aged people and a group of young people. These 20 or so people are the entire Golden Crow clan. There are very few descendants of the imperial clan. The palace of the true God, the ultimate place of the Golden Age, contains the ultimate secret. Only by going to the temple of the true God to worship sincerely and being chosen by the gods can you possibly transcend this world. The old man at the head, his words full of excitement, said, go and earn the opportunity to transcend for our clan. Immediately, the Golden Crow clan almost came out in full force. Central Immortal Realm, Zhongzhou. A mountain like a human head stands on a mountain range. Around the mountains, there was a surge of blood, and a surging river of blood circulated around the mountains. Here is the ancestor of the Yasha clan of the imperial clan. Since the arrival of the Yasha clan, they slaughtered countless fairy kingdoms and the blood of countless creatures was drawn to form this great river. The palace of the true God has appeared, the real opportunity for the golden age, go. In the mountain peak, A hoarse voice sounded. Central Immortal Territory and Northern Territory. In front of a huge palace, there is a huge statue of a divine bird, exuding terrifying energy. The statue's wings are stretched out, as if it is going to tear the sky apart. This is the sculpture of the ancestor of the northern Xinjiang imperial clan, the sky-swallowing bird clan. An old man stood under the statue. His sinister eyes were full of heat and he said, "If we can be chosen by the true God, our clan will ascend and escape from this world. Go." Suddenly, the roars of the sky-swallowing bird clan continued to be heard from this area. The central immortal realm is already boiling. The other immortal realms also received the news. The palace of true God is born. In the eastern immortal realm, countless divine swords float in the air. This is the sword domain of the eastern immortal domain imperial clan, one of the 7 lineages of the human race, and the Dugu family. The countless divine swords floating among them were all left behind by the most powerful sword cultivator of the Dugu family. The ancestor is only one step away from being able to prove himself as the Holy Emperor, allowing our clan to reappear as the second Holy Emperor. In the sword domain, the head of the Dugu family, Dugu Tuajiang, looked extremely indifferent. Go to the northern territory of the central immortal territory, and at all costs, you must find a ray of Yang Qi for your ancestor and help him take the final step. All the major immortal realms are paying attention. Countless imperial clans have already moved towards Zhongzhou, the central immortal domain. Zhongzhou has become a place that attracts the attention of the world. The sky-swallowing bird clan has arrived. An old saint king is personally leading the team. The Golden Crow tribe is here, and there are actually 3 holy kings and 1 great sage. Is this all? The secrets have been revealed. The holy lord of the Xia clan, after entering Zhongzhou, he kowtows every step of the way and is extremely pious. Various news came. Imperial City. This city is the central city of Zhongzhou, just below the palace of the true God and the closest to the palace of the true God. Now it has become a place of pilgrimage for all major imperial clans. In just 10 days, countless imperial, yadi, and royal clans arrived at the imperial city. The marquis and saint clans, etc., were not ranked at all and were not even qualified to enter the city. Even the arrival of the royal family has caused no disturbance at all. Only the imperial family can cause some discussion. God, this is really a grand event for the whole world. There are no less than 20 imperial clans arriving before and after, right? Moreover, the most powerful heirs in the clan are coming. The imperial clan of the immortal realm, basically all are here. There are hundreds of yadi clans, and there are almost 200 royal clans, right? There was a lot of discussion in the city. Many legendary figures appeared, countless saint kings, traces of saint kings were common, and even several great saints came. Because there were rumors over time that the stronger the talent and bloodline, the greater the chance of being selected by the gods, so the elites from all races came, not just the younger generation, but also some of the older generations whose bloodlines had shocked the past and present. In the city, a huge altar has been built. Today, people from all the major imperial clans are here. The Peacock tribe is here. Xianhuan Buddhist temple has arrived. The Golden Crow tribe has arrived. With loud shouts, one after another imperial clan arrived outside the altar. The leaders of the imperial clan, yadi clan, and royal clan all knelt down 300 steps away from the detective. The front and rear imperial clan, yadi clan, etc., totaled hundreds of clans, and the scene was extremely spectacular. They would kneel to the edge of the detective and offer the gifts they had brought to the god. The Golden Crow tribe offer the supreme fire crystal to the gods. An elder and peerless genius of the Golden Crow tribe knelt down for 300 steps and presented a piece of flame that flowed around, and the surging spiritual energy could hardly be hidden. The sky-swallowing bird clan offers a true sky bird feather to the gods. The Peacock tribe offers peacock feathers to the gods. The great emperors looked at the divine palace in the sky with incomparable heat in their eyes. The reason for the return of all races is today. At this moment, as everyone was praying devoutly, in the palace in the sky, there seemed to be a statue of a god, standing tall and towering, exuding supreme energy. The next moment, a figure suddenly walked out of the palace. It was a blue-robed Taoist, holding a jade bottle, and countless Yang Dao auras seemed to be scattered from the jade bottle. Angel of God. It's an angel. See the envoy. Seeing this person, the imperial clans kneeling below were even more excited. The legend is true. Whenever the temple of the true God reappears, the messengers of the gods will come, select the true believers, and bestow great blessings. Once selected, they can be taken away by the envoys of the gods and taken to the Yang realm. The worst of them can become emperors and become existences in the forbidden land of Yang. If you are chosen, you will still be able to survive the disaster. All races are looking forward to it. This is the origin of the Golden Age. The temple of the true God, the divine envoy, makes the world flock to it. Throughout the ages, there have been very few ethnic groups chosen by the gods. However, once selected, they will be given Yang Qi and the method beyond the holy way. They can also be taken away by the divine messenger and be favored by the gods. Moreover, after the Golden Age, there will be a catastrophe of extinction. The Yang disaster will come, and all races in the world will be massacred. However, those chosen by the gods are immune to disasters. Therefore, the blessing of the gods is to transcend oneself and avoid disasters. This is how the Yang Forbidden Land in the world came to be. The existences in the Yang Forbidden Land were all chosen by the gods. Only with the blessings of the gods can they survive forever. In the underworld, if you practice this path, the holy path is the end, and even if you reach the realm of the Holy Emperor, you will eventually die one day. The avenue of cultivation above the holy path and the broader world in the underworld are great temptations for all cultivators in the immortal realm. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 378. Above the sky, the blue-robed Taoist stood proudly in the clouds. He glanced around below calmly. A group of fish have been free for hundreds of thousands of years, but they haven't given birth to many suitable yin spirits. He was quite dissatisfied. These ghosts in the underworld think that the temple of the true God and the gifts of the gods are opportunities for transcendence, but they don't know that they are just bait. When the bait is released, these ghosts will gather like a school of fish. The most talented and powerful yin spirits will also arrive and kneel down to wait for selection. They will select those yin spirits with suitable talents and bloodlines and bring them to the Yang world, which is also a special cultivation resource for the people in the Yang world. Likewise, in order to keep the bait attractive, they will help a few selected fish become stronger. This is the origin of Yang Forbidden Land. Once you get their help and become an existence in the Yang Forbidden Land, you can almost live forever and continue to be nourished by Yang Qi. After all, if you want to keep the fish school hungry for bait, you must cultivate 1 or 2 fat fish. With this example of being favored by the gods, the fish will come one after another to kneel down and wait for selection. If the most talented fish in the fish school are taken away, people in the world will begin to destroy them on a large scale. After all, the suitable yin spirits have been picked away, and the rest are useless yin spirits. Useless yin spirits will take up too much living space, which is not good for the subsequent growth of the fish school. These stupid fish shoals call this destruction a disaster. Ridiculous. These leaks keep growing again and again. The blue-robed Taoist shook his head and glanced at the many imperial clans, Yati clans, royal clans, etc. kneeling below. Compared with the first few epochs of catching, the quality of the fish now has declined too much. He couldn't help but shake his head. However, the underworld will perish, and this is the last hunt, so there are not many to choose from. My envoy, please bless me on behalf of God. He lifted the jade bottle, and in an instant, the light swayed. Wisps of yang energy suddenly fell with golden light. Among the countless geniuses kneeling below, a very small number were chosen by a ray of light. That ray of yang energy entered their bodies. Great, I was chosen, I was chosen, I was blessed by the gods. A young man from the Golden Crow tribe was dancing and excited. He was the holy son of the Golden Crow tribe. Ha ha ha, after waiting for thousands of years, I finally got the favor of God. An old man, laughing loudly at this moment, is the old holy king of the Peacock tribe. Although he is old, his talent has been unparalleled in his life. Is this the gaze of the gods? I feel that my body is warm and comfortable, thank you to the true God. The saint of the Peacock clan was so excited that she was shaking all over, and she bowed her head to the sky. There are no fewer than 300 clans including imperial clans and royal clans in the field. But there are no more than 20 clans that can be favored by Yang Qi. Those ethnic groups that were not selected are in misery at this moment. Not being selected means missing out on the opportunity of this life. It also means, when faced with subsequent disasters, you will not be able to get protection from the gods. God's envoy, our clan is loyal and has been worshipping for 5 consecutive eras. Give us a chance. Angel of God, I am willing to give everything. Countless ethnic groups are begging. The blessings of true God are all divine will, and no one can change it. The blue-robed Taoist spoke indifferently and said, however, if you can kill those who rebel against God, you can receive the blessing of the gods as an exception. In this world, there is a person who rebels against God. That bitch who falsely claims to be the Lord of the Wild Sky, Xuanhuan. Kill him and you will be blessed by the gods. The blue-robed Taoist spoke calmly. Hearing this, all the imperial clans below were shocked. Xuanhuan, the one who rebels against God. That executioner, even the gods, want to kill her mother. She deserves to die, kill her. Only by killing her can we get the favor of the gods. For a time, countless imperial clans were talking about it. Everything that happened in the northern immortal territory has long been spread throughout the world. Everyone knows that Xuanhuan claimed to be the Lord of the Wild Sky, bulldozed the Tianluo Mountains in the Yang Forbidden Land, and unified the northern immortal territory. Previously, the imperial clan looked sideways and did not dare to violate the situation. However, now the divine messenger has spoken. I, the sky-swallowing bird clan, will fight against those who rebel against God until death. The old holy king of the sky-swallowing bird clan stood up directly, with murderous intent boiling over him. Our clan will immediately launch a clan war and kill the executioner. Those who rebel against God will surely die. Lord of the Wild Sky, damn it! For a time, all the major imperial clans spoke one after another. In the sky, the divine envoy nodded calmly and said, very good. These 9 people are the favored ones of the gods. They are the commanders of the conquest of those who rebel against the gods. As he spoke, the 9 emperors came from behind him. Astonishingly, they are the 9 emperors from Judi Mountain. Meet God's favorite one. Meet God's favorite one. All nations worship. Same day. In the imperial city, countless war sounds were heard heading outside. The sky-swallowing bird clan will conquer the northern immortal territory. The sky-swallowing python clan will fight Xuanhuan until death. The peacock emperor clan will definitely punish those who rebel against God. Hundreds of tribes made war sounds. And at this moment, outside the imperial city, a middle-aged man rushed over after a long journey. Seeing the extremely majestic imperial city in front of him, his eyes were filled with excitement. Didao city, I, Lao Ao, am here. He is in a great mood. Since escaping from the northern immortal territory, he has traveled all the way across the northern territory of the central immortal territory. Arrived in Zhongzhou. On the way, he learned that the palace of the true God was born, which made him extremely excited. Perhaps only the true God can save me from my unlucky evil fate in this life, right? As long as I hug the lap of God, I don't believe that I can still be so evil. Full of expectations, he walked towards the city. But, right now, in the Imperial City, spaceships suddenly flew out one after another. The Peacock clan will declare war on the northern immortal territory. Must kill the Lord of Desolate Heaven. Slaughter all the northern immortal territory and destroy the great northern wilderness. A series of fierce battle sounds came from those warships. Hearing these terrible words, Xuanhuan was immediately stunned. He looked in disbelief. Damn it! What's going on? Well, brother, may I ask, what happened in the city? Why are they going to the northern immortal territory? He stopped a cultivator and asked with a worried look. The messenger of the true God has spoken. The Lord of Desolate Heaven is a rebel against God and should be killed. All the major imperial clans are going to fight against the northern immortal territory. The cultivator finished speaking in a hurry and left. Xuanhuan was stunned on the spot. Are these imperial clansmen insane? This god must be crazy. Oh shit. No, we can't go to this imperial city. Even if there are gods in the city, thinking about that small mountain village, his scalp feels numb. Hide as far as you can. He turned around and ran away. But, at this moment, in the sky, the 9 emperors were passing by in the sky. Huh. Suddenly, a flash of surprise flashed in Zhang Hanshuang's eyes. What's wrong? Beside her, a white-haired emperor asked. That man was the quasi-holy son of the human race in the previous world. He actually came back alive from the great northern wilderness. She pointed at Xuanhuan who was running away below. You actually survived Zhang Shui's hands? This person is not simple. The white-haired emperor was slightly surprised, and the other emperors were also surprised. Let's go and have a look. Xuanhuan spoke, and the next moment, the 9 emperors had already fallen. They landed directly in front of Xuanhuan. Xuanhuan, right? I must have remembered your name correctly. Xuanhuan looked at Xuanhuan lightly. Xuanhuan stopped and looked at the familiar Frost Emperor in front of him. His heart suddenly tightened. It's over, how come you can meet an acquaintance here? Bye, meet the Frost Emperor. Xuanhuan saluted hurriedly. Get up. Xuanhuan spoke lightly and said. Tell me, how did you survive? There was a hint of doubt in her eyes. Xuanhuan Emperor, during the small battle, I was swept away by the aftermath of the battle, and I fainted. When I woke up, everyone was dead, so I ran away. Xuanhuan forced himself to speak. You must not say that you brought the army in and escaped, otherwise you will die. If he can survive from Zhang Shui's hands, there must be something wrong with him. His soul must be searched. At this time, the middle-aged emperor next to him had a cold face. Hearing this, Zhang Hanshuang's expression changed and she said. If you want to search, you can search, but I don't dare search. There was fear in her words. You must know that because you saw something you shouldn't have seen in the great northern wilderness, your memory was stained with weirdness, and you went crazy. It was only thanks to the action of the adults that he completely cut off all memories about Baidawang, and then he came back to life. Search for Xuanhuan's soul, just in case there is something remarkable in it. Hearing this, the middle-aged emperor who spoke just now waved his hands hurriedly and said. Forget it, I'm just joking, don't take it seriously. The other emperors also had complicated expressions. This Xuanhuan was just a small cultivator in the Forya realm, but now he could make even the emperors fear him. Emperor Xuang thought for a moment and said, however, this person should be fine. Before, I placed a ban on his consciousness. If he had had second thoughts, he would have died long ago. As she said that, she suddenly looked at Xuanhuan and said, I want you to be loyal, so how about I give you a great opportunity? Xuanhuan was already nervous at the moment, but when he heard the words big opportunity, his whole body started to tremble. Damn it, the body of the last one who talked about a great opportunity was already cold. Can you please stop scaring me, Lao Ao, with these 3 words? However, before he could speak, Xuanhuan had already waved. In the sky, a huge spaceship suddenly fell. On the spaceship, a middle-aged man was shocked when he saw the 9 emperors and hurriedly saluted. Meet the 9 holy emperors. This middle-aged man is the holy master of the sky-swallowing bird clan, Du Tunshan. He is preparing to take people back to his clan and gather his clansmen to attack the northern immortal territory. Because of the old relationship between your clan's ancestor and me, I would like to give your clan an opportunity. Emperor Shuang spoke calmly, pointed at Xuanhuan and said, This person's name is Xuanhuan. He has been to the great northern wilderness. With him leading the way, your clan will be more stable. When Du Tunshan heard this, he was immediately overjoyed. He stepped forward, held Xuanhuan's hands, and said, Brother Ao, this wave depends on you. He was so excited. And Xuanhuan was simply stupid. Go to Baidawan? What kind of lunacy is this? However, at this moment, he has no right to refuse at all. He raised his eyes and looked at the sky, full of sorrow and anger. Damn it, is it over yet? Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 379. Northern Immortal Territory. What happened in the Central Immortal Realm has also been spread here. The people of the Northern Immortal Territory are in panic. The saints had just been swept away and slaughtered, and the humans had just had their own piece of pure land. In the blink of an eye, the gods came to the world, and the emperors in the world pointed their swords at the Lord of the Wild Sky. Now, the Northern Immortal Territory has fallen into a state of panic. After all, if it was just one clan and one domain, maybe the Snow Emperor could suppress it. But now, almost all the imperial clans in the world have united to target the Lord of Desolate Heaven. Moreover, behind those imperial clans, there are also beings known as gods. In the Wild Sky Alliance, Huo Ling Mu Jianing, Bai Xiaoyang of the White Tiger clan, Ji Taixuan of the Ji family, and others were discussing matters. After listening to the news coming from the Central Immortal Realm, the atmosphere in the hall became heavier and heavier. To alliance leaders, the current situation is very difficult. Holy Lord Yuanyang spoke, with a worried look on his face, and said, Those who have declared war on us, excluding the ordinary noble clans, saint clans, etc., the royal clan and above, there are no less than 300 giant clans, among them, including the 12 imperial clans. The Northern Immortal Territory is really the enemy of the entire world this time. Senior Ji, in your opinion, what should we do? Huo Ling looked at Ji Taixuan. Ji Taixuan looked solemn and said, This battle will determine the fate of the entire human race. If we lose, then the human race will be completely reduced to the blood of foreign races. So, the Ji family will send a message to all directions, inviting the rest of the human imperial clan to come to the Northern Immortal Territory to resist the alien alliance. Hearing this, Huo Ling also nodded and said, That's fine. After all, the Ji family and the Huangtian alliance alone were too weak to face 300 giant clans. Soon. Ji family ancestral hall. Ji Taixuan burned incense and awakened the ancient formation. The 7 lines of the human race are inherited from the same line, so they have established a magic circle to connect with each other. It will only be used in times of great crisis. The magic circle is activated. The news spread far and wide. And at this moment, in the Eastern Immortal Territory, there is a vast sea of swords. Hundreds of thousands of iron swords were made into a sword palace. In the sword palace, the ancient magic circle has been lit up. Dugu Tuajiang, the head of the Dugu family, looked at the news coming out of the magic circle with a cold expression. Master, according to the ancient agreement, it's time for us to go and help. Behind him, an old man spoke in a low voice. However, Dugu Tuajiang remained silent and hesitated for a long time. Based on the Ji family, Zhang Shui, and even all the forces of the human race, there is no chance of winning. He spoke slowly and said, "You must know that behind the aliens, are the gods." The old man's expression changed and he said, "Are we going to ignore it?" A deep look flashed across Dugu Tuajiang's eyes. "My genius went to Imperial City, but was not chosen by the gods. Killing Zhang Shui is our only chance to obtain blessings from the gods," he muttered. Hearing this, the old man's face changed drastically and he trembled. "Master, we are a human race." When Dugu Tuajiang heard this, his expression was calm and he said, "I am just for the human race. The underworld is coming to an end. This may be the last chance. If we are enemies of the gods, everyone will die. If Zhang Shui can be sacrificed to let us leave this world, the human race will continue. For the well-being of the entire human race, this may be my only choice." He had a high-sounding look on his face and continued. "Besides, haven't you seen it? Emperor Xuanhuan, one of the 9 emperors of the 9 Emperor Mountains, became a favored one by the gods and got a great opportunity." His eyes were filled with a kind of envy, even jealousy. Look at Zhang Shui again. Because he disobeyed the gods, he fell for countless epochs. Now he has just returned and is being strangled by the gods. If the ancestor of our clan could understand current affairs like the Frost Emperor in the past, maybe our clan would no longer be in the underworld long ago. There was some complaining in his words. He took the strong men of his clan to the imperial city in person. In Emperor Dao City, the 9 emperors in the 9 Emperor Mountains were born, and he discovered that the former Frost Emperor was actually a servant of the gods. From that moment on, Dugu Tuajiang understood everything. When the Snow Emperor fell in the past, not only the Celestials, but also Xuanhuan must have played an important role behind the scenes. He sighed deeply. That woman Xuanhuan is so smart and powerful. Most of the 7 human races are stupid people. The old man's face was extremely ugly, but he didn't know how to answer. The head of the Dugu family is quite knowledgeable. At this time, a clear and beautiful voice suddenly came from outside Dugu Sword Palace. Dugu Tuajiang and the old man's expression suddenly changed. They turned around and saw that at some point, a woman in white had arrived in front of the temple, walking step by step. "Are you, Frost Emperor?" Dugu Tuajiang's expression changed. "This woman is clearly Xuanhuan. Greetings, the one favored by God." He hurriedly saluted. But beside him, the old man's face was frightened, and he said, "Master, this person is a traitor to the human race and the murderer who killed the Snow Emperor in the past. How can you worship her? I will activate the ancestral emperor's magic circle and kill this woman." Dugu Tuajiang's expression changed and he shouted, "How dare you!" As soon as he finished speaking, a sword came to him swiftly and fiercely, sealing his throat with one sword. In an instant, the old man's blood sprayed out. He stared blankly at the owner of the house, as if he couldn't believe it until he died. He died in the hands of his master. The old man fell to the ground. At the entrance of the hall, a smile appeared on Zhang Hanshuang's face. Determined and ruthless, the head of the Dugu family is someone who will achieve great things. She spoke. Dugu Tuajiang knelt down and said, "Xuang Emperor, my Dugu family is loyal to true God Xuanhuan. Please give me a chance." He was sincere and said, "To be honest with Emperor Xuang, my clan's quasi-emperor is already just one step away from becoming the Holy Emperor. Before I went to Emperor Dao City, it was because of his order from the old man, but it's a pity. As long as you, Emperor Xuang, help me, my Dugu family will do our best to kill Zhang Shui. Almost begging. Xuanhuan smiled lightly and said, "We are both human beings, so I will naturally take care of you. I'm here just to help you get through this difficult time. After all, I think about the human race, and I am definitely not a selfish person like Zhang Shui who is just trying to gain fame. Lead the way, I will give your quasi-emperor a yang energy." Hearing this, Dugu Tuajiang was immediately overjoyed. "Frost Emperor, please." He leads the way. Shortly after, Dugu family. A peerless energy suddenly burst out. Thousands of dynasties roared, the emperor's energy was terrifying, and thunder descended into the world, shining brightly. There was a huge earthquake in the eastern immortal territory, because this meant that someone from the Dugu family had become a holy emperor. Shortly after, in the Sea of Swords of the Dugu family, Dugu Tuajiang and an old man with an extraordinary aura followed Xuanhuan respectfully, following each step. That old man was suddenly the new holy emperor of the Ji family, Dugu Maizu. "Remember your mission." Xuanhuan spoke calmly and said, "God can give you the Dugu family such a blessing, and he can also destroy you with a snap of his fingers." Hearing this, Dugu Maizu smiled flatteringly and said, "Please rest assured, Emperor Frost. It is a great honor for our clan to receive blessings from the gods. We will never dare to have second thoughts." Xuanhuan nodded and said, "You should go with me. The only 7 human clans that can still be contacted are the Lin family and the Qin family, haha, these 2 families should also change. The 7 lines of the human race are the Zhang family, the Ji family, the Qin family, the Lin family, the Dugu family, the Burning Heaven sect, and the Taiyan Holy Land. Among them, the Burning Heaven sect and the Taiyan Holy Land perished in the same era, leaving almost no descendants. It is said that their bones were all buried in the demon realm. Therefore, the only ones who can go to the northern immortal territory this time are the Dugu family, the Lin family and the Qin family. The Lin family is the Celestial Master Imperial clan, and the Qin family is the Dragon Soul family. They are all the pawns she wants to use this time. Shortly after, a huge earthquake occurred in the southern immortal territory because of the Lin family, a generation of imperial clan, which shocked the world today. The pinnacle sage of the Lin family, Lin Zhentian, has become the holy emperor. The world is buzzing. Immediately afterwards, in the central immortal realm, there was a vast lake, as vast as an inland sea. On this day, the dragon soul shook the sky. Everyone knows that the Qin family, an imperial family, is a family guarded by a giant dragon. It is said that in ancient times, its ancestor had seen a real dragon, thus proving the ancestor. But today, a certain ancient dragon has completely revived, and its imperial power is overwhelming. In the Qin family's ancestral hall. "Thank you, Frost Emperor." Qin Tianji, the ancestor of the Qin family, was excited and respectful. Next to them, Dugu Maizu and Lin Zhentian, the 2 ancestral emperors, also had complicated looks on their faces when they saw this scene. This is God. The one who is favored by the gods can make 3 powerful quasi-emperors appear in the 3 major families of the human race in an instant just by taking action. No need to say thank you. Xuanhuan spoke lightly and said, "I act for the gods and for the benefit of mankind." The 3 powerful men were all extremely excited at this moment. "Emperor Frost, we will immediately declare a complete break with Zhang Shui, the Lord of the Wild Sky, and declare war on the great northern wilderness." They spoke. However, Xuanhuan shook his head and said, "No, you 3 tribes must go to the northern immortal territory first. The mission given to you by the gods is to find out What's so weird about that place? She spoke coldly. This is why she took action to help the three lines of human race. There is something strange in the northern immortal realm that can affect the Holy Emperor. And the G family must know what weirdness is. Before the Imperial Clan Alliance marches into the northern immortal territory, she wants to test it out. And these humans are the best cannon fodder. Thinking of this, she couldn't help but sneer, 7 lines of human race? With a little trick, they all became his lackeys. Those ancestors of the human race who were once smelly and tough, after they die, how can future generations maintain their original intentions? Once you have enough benefits, your original intention and ancestral precepts are nothing, they are all bullshit. Xuanhuan Emperor, the 3 of us are willing to die for the gods, but I'm afraid that the 3 of us are no match for Zhang Shui. Dugumaizu's face looked a little ugly. Although, they have already realized the Holy Emperor. But, becoming Zhang Shui's enemy, they still don't have the guts. That is someone who dares to claim to be the Lord of the Wild Sky and bulldoze the Tianluo mountain range. The 3 emperors in the Tianluo mountains are definitely stronger than the 3 of them. What's there to be afraid of? Zhang Han's Huang was indifferent. A portrait suddenly appeared in her hand. In the portrait, there is a god sitting cross-legged in the clouds, as if he is high up, looking down on the world. This is a portrait of a god. It contains the magic power of the gods and can kill all powerful enemies. Even Zhang Shui cannot compete with it. Because of the last tragic experience, she knew that there was something strange behind Zhang Shui. And this portrait of a god was given by a god's envoy. According to the instructions of the divine envoy, as long as someone is brought to Zhang Shui, the divine envoy will know what is strange and ominous over there. Therefore, she took action and took over the 3 major families for her own use. Yes, we will set off immediately. Dugumaizu and the others spoke immediately, their eyes burning. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 380. G Family Ancestral Hall. Okay, great. Ji Taixuan's eyes were excited and he said. The Lin family, Qin family, and Dugu family have all replied to the letter and they are on their way. Get ready. Hearing this, Huo Linger and others were also overjoyed. With the 3 major imperial clans joining in, the probability of fighting against the Imperial Clan Alliance increases. 3 days later. In the middle of the northern immortal territory, the ancestral city of the Ji family. Warships flew across the sky, and energy spread across thousands of miles. The Lin family of the Imperial Clan has arrived. A big shout. Shaking the sky. In the Ji family's ancestral hall, Ji Taixuan and Huo Linger went out to greet him. Feeling the breath coming from the sky, Ji Taixuan's expression changed drastically. This surpasses the great sage, the Dugu family, could it be? His eyes were full of disbelief. Could it be that a holy emperor actually appeared among the 7 lines of the human race? And at this moment, countless giant ships landed slowly. On the Lin family emperor's ship, there was a man with a blue beard, majestic and heroic, standing with his hands behind his back. His body was like a sea of runes. At any time and at any time, the heaven and earth are moving with his breath. This is the holy emperor of our clan, the heaven-suppressing holy emperor. Lin Yuantu, the head of the Lin family, stepped forward and spoke indifferently. You guys, why don't you bow down yet? In an instant, the Ji clan was shocked. Ji Taixuan took a deep breath and said. Meet the holy emperor. Even Huo Linger and others saluted. After all, this is a living human race holy emperor. Invite the holy emperor into the palace. Ji Taixuan was extremely respectful and spoke to Lin Zhentian, the holy emperor of the Lin family. However, Lin Zhentian was indifferent, looked at the sky and said, "Don't panic, wait for brother Dugu to come together." He just finished speaking. "The Dugu family is here." A loud shout came. The Dugu family also arrived. Moreover, the same terrifying energy is falling from the sky. The entire Ji family was even more shocked. This was also the emperor's energy. I saw an old man with white hair, like a tiger standing on Yuanting mountain and walking like a dragon, appearing in the sky above Ji's house. He looked at the Ji family and suddenly sneered and said, "People often say that Ji Xuanhuan is very skilled in swordsmanship. I want to see how powerful he is in front of me." After saying this, a terrifying imperial sword in his hand suddenly struck at the Ji family. In an instant, the Ji family's ancestral magic circle roared. A sword intent rushed out and slashed at Dugu Maizu. Boom! The sword roared, and in an instant, the endless land in the middle region was split open because of this sword. Outside of the Ji family's ancestral city, many cities were affected, and millions of lives were lost in the aftermath. In the sky, Dugu Maizu's face changed. He was forced to take a step back, and his old face turned a little pale. How is it possible that I, the living holy emperor, can't shake the sword intention left by Ji Xuanhuan? He looks very ugly. Brother Dugu, why bother arguing with the dead? At this time, Lin Zhentian's voice came from below. Dugu Maizu put away the imperial sword with some reluctance, took a step forward, and was already in front of everyone. He stood side by side with Lin Zhentian. Two emperors. But at this moment, Ji Taixuan's face looked extremely ugly. Because just now, Dugu Maizu's sword caused a catastrophe in the central territory. At least 1 million souls died. There is actually a great saint in the Ji family, which is rare. Dugu Maizu had already spoken and sneered. "Take out Ji Xuanhuan's imperial sword and let me have a look. He can be regarded as a hero of a generation. The sword is simply buried in the Ji family. Only in the hands of this emperor can it shine again." His heart was burning. The competition just now gave him a new understanding of Ji Xuanhuan. The sword of such a strong man is definitely more invincible. It belongs to you. Hearing this, Ji Taixuan couldn't bear it anymore, his anger burned and he said, "Ancestral Emperor Dugu, our clan asked you to come here to resist the alien clan, but you are so unscrupulous that you killed millions of creatures with one sword strike, and now you covet my clan's emperor's sword." Dugu Maizu said calmly, "And, are you teaching me how to do things? How dare you say anything even if you are a mere great sage? I will destroy your cultivation and let you improve your memory." With arrogance, a chi machine was suddenly sent towards Ji Taixuan. Ji Taixuan's expression changed drastically. Even though he was a great saint, he could not resist the holy emperor's attack. Moreover, it was too late to summon the emperor's sword. But at this moment, next to him, Huo Linger stepped forward. In her hands, a wooden palace suddenly enlarged in size. The shadow of a divine palace appeared instantly. Lishanshan Palace. Boom. There was a soft sound in the shrine, and the emperor's chi machine disappeared completely like a mud cow into the sea. Upon seeing this, Lin Zhentian and Dugu Maizu's expressions changed. Incredible! What kind of treasure is this? Lin Zhentian's eyes suddenly became hot. The little girl in front of me is just a saint in cultivation, but holding this thing in her hand, she can actually resist the emperor's attack. At least they are all emperor level, maybe even higher. Where did this come from? Hand it over. Lin Zhentian spoke directly and threatened. Otherwise, we will massacre all the northern immortal territory today. Dugu Maizu also said in a deep voice, "Such a treasure cannot be owned by children like you." Huo Linger said coldly, "This thing was given by the Lord of Desolate Heaven, how dare you covet it?" Hearing this, The two ancestor emperors immediately looked at each other, their eyes becoming even more greedy. Lord of the Wild Sky, this thing comes from Xuanhuan. It just so happens that they came here this time just to test Xuanhuan's true and false. Haha, Lord of Desolate Sky. We are looking for this god-defying person. Lin Zhentian sneered and said. This man has disobeyed the gods and deserves to be killed. He spoke directly. Where is the one who rebels against God? Take us there immediately, otherwise, the northern immortal territory will be destroyed today. Dugumaizu also threatened coldly. Hearing this, the expressions of everyone in the Ji family, the Huangtian alliance, etc. suddenly changed. These two holy emperors. It's not reinforcements, but enemy. Ji Taixuan was stunned. He looked at the two people in front of him. For a moment, he completely understood in his old eyes. I was still wondering why two holy emperors suddenly appeared in the human race, now I understand. Ji Taixuan gritted his teeth and said. You betrayed the human race and became the lackeys of the alien race. You actually have such delusional thoughts that you want to take action against the Lord of the Wild Sky. Please Emperor Sword. War. He shouted, full cultivation. However, Lin Zhentian waved his hand calmly, and in an instant, this space was completely restricted. Ji Taixuan simply can't leave anymore. This emperor can seal the sky. Lin Zhentian was aloof and extremely disdainful. I will fight with you. Ji Taixuan shouted. However, Huo Linger stopped him at this time. Senior Ji, since they want to see the Lord of Huangtian, it doesn't matter if we take them there. There was a gloomy look on her face. Even though she has the Lishan Palace in her hands, even though the Ji family has the Emperor Sword, but these are two living holy emperors after all. Once the war starts, the chances of winning are slim. You know what's going on. Dugumaizu and Dugumaizu sneered. Two holy emperors, please come with me. Huo Linger turned around. They were about to leave immediately. Ha ha ha, how can I leave before I arrive? At this time, there was another loud shout. In the sky, a terrifying powerful man came from the sky. Behind him, the roar shook the sky. It was a terrifying golden dragon. The power is overwhelming. Ha ha, Brother Qin, you came too late. Dugumaizu spoke calmly. Qin Tianji had already arrived. He raised his hand, and the ancient dragon in the sky floated into his sleeve. It's never too late to have a good meal. Qin Tianji smiled slightly and said, let's go and hunt down the Lord of the Wild Sky. My Qin family will definitely contribute. Qin family. Ji Taixuan's face turned even uglier. This means that, except for the Taiyan Holy Land and Burning Heaven Holy Land in the Bone Burial Demon Realm, all the imperial clans of the human race. Rebellion. Let's go, don't delay any longer, I can't wait any longer. They spoke immediately. Huo Linger immediately took them towards the small mountain village. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Gui Xian. Chapter 381. Small Village. In the early morning, the sun shines in the courtyard, and the spring light is bright. A group of disciples are all doing their own thing. Nanfan's Emperor's unbreaking formation song has already reached a new level, and now her music has become softer. The Emperor Zun's formation breaking song at the beginning was fierce and murderous, but now she was experiencing another way of the sound of the piano. As she played the piano, the little wolf lay at her feet, looking up at her from time to time, quiet and well behaved. Li Fan felt that he could barely take a look at the works painted by Zi Ling, and he was considered a master. Dugu Yuking's calligraphy has become more and more flexible. Just a few days ago, he actually copied his first poem Silent Night Thoughts, which was very impressive. Long Xuanhuan was obsessed with fishing every day, fishing all day long. Although he still couldn't get the carps to take the bait, Li Fan found that his mind had become calmer. Subakian cultivated a small medicinal field in the yard next to the vegetable field, planted some Chinese herbal medicine, and studied it every day. It's just that people in the village never get sick very often, so she never has the chance to fight. Lin Zhuzhan's ghost drawing skills have become more and more powerful. He can draw talisman anytime and anywhere. Recently, Li Fan has seen him often bite his fingers and draw talisman in the air. Zhang Li has been much more interesting recently. The turtle he brought back has become his chessboard, and he plays with gusto every day. Because Zhang Li discovered that the chess formations carried on the turtle's back were far more than just a sans-hung chessboard. As the old turtle ate soil regularly every day, the turtle's shell became brighter and brighter, and other more advanced chess formations evolved. Perhaps one day, when this turtle recovers, he can recreate the 9 life chess formations that Master once said. Zhang Li was obsessed with it and couldn't extricate himself. Wu Date has become much stronger and more diligent recently. When Uncle Zhang's pigs gave birth to piglets, he actually volunteered to provide postpartum care to the cell. Every time he came back, his pants were torn, but there was always a satisfied smile on his face. This made Li Fan sigh with emotion. Date is such a diligent person. In contrast, Qing Chen has been much lazy recently. Because, Li Fan found that this little monk often dozed under the peach tree. Even if a spider crawled onto his face, he wouldn't move. Too tolerable. Lu Rang glanced at the peach tree furtively every day. When no one was paying attention, he scooped up a handful of peach root soil and put it in his grass pot. The grass grew more and more lush. Xianning, come on, it's time to learn new ancient poems today. Li Fan said. Xianning sat down obediently. Next to them, Duguyuking, Xiling, Nanfan and others also came to study together as usual. Over time, even they have realized that every time the master teaches ancient poems, there seems to be another world, another time, worth savoring and chanting, and the state of mind becomes more and more extraordinary. It rains heavily during the Qingming festival, and pedestrians on the road feel like losing their souls. May I ask where the restaurant is? The shepherd boy pointed to Xinghua village. Li Fan wrote poetry. Everyone's eyes lit up, and Xianning read it obediently and childishly. This poem is quite interesting. Even though it cuts off a lot, it is concise and concise. Li Fan didn't know what he thought of and said, for example, cutting off 2 characters can turn it into a 5-character poem. It rains heavily during the Qingming festival, and passers-by are about to die. Where can I find a restaurant? It's far away in Xinghua village. If you cut off 3 words, you can still write a 4-character poem. The rain falls during the Qingming festival, and the souls of passers-by are broken. Where is the restaurant? The apricot blossoms point to the distance. If you cut off 4 words, you can still get a glimpse of the whole picture. Qingming rain, people's souls are broken, there is no wine, Xinghua village. It's even possible to cut off 5 characters. Rain, broken soul, wine, apricot blossom. Hearing this, the disciples around him instantly fell into deep thought. Master means that with the simplest brush, you can paint the most complex scenery. This is a new realm of painting. Ziling's big eyes sparkled. Making complexity into simplicity, all sword moves have the core sword intention. Behind the complexity, there must be a simple sword principle. Duguyuking even felt that as Li Fan explained, all the sword moves in his mind were automatically evolving at this moment, becoming simpler and clearer. He stood up suddenly and said, "Thank you, Master, my disciple has gained a lot." Li Fan smiled slightly and said, "It's just some little tricks. Master, please have some tea." Gongya served the tea gently and politely. Li Fan took a sip, nodded and said, "The Qingming festival is here. It's a good time to pick tea. Qingming tea is the best for nourishing the lungs. Come on, I'll take you to pick tea." At the east end of the village, he planted a tea forest, and now it's time to pick tea. Hearing this, many disciples were overjoyed. Great, I haven't seen the holy tea tree yet. Picking tea, it feels so fun. Gongya was even more delighted, because she had recently been trying her best to break free from the shackles of the sea of consciousness. If she could go to the tea forest to practice, the benefits would be huge. She hurriedly said, "Thank you, Master. Let's go." Immediately, Li Fan set off with a group of disciples. Not long after, they had arrived at the east end of the village. A green tea forest, full of greenery. It is the Qingming festival, and tea leaves are everywhere, making the tea forest look fresh and elegant. Just being close to the tea forest, a refreshing fragrance can already be heard. In this tea forest, there are thousands of rules, and the sacred breath is like a leaping dragon and a tiger. Nanfan was shocked. The tea we drink on weekdays is actually from this sacred tea tree. Xuanhuan was also stunned. This tea forest is so extraordinary, just looking at it from a distance is almost enlightening. This is a place of enlightenment. Gongya also looked excited. After arriving here, she felt that the breath in her whole body was flowing. Pick tea. Li Fan smiled and spoke. Immediately, all the disciples followed into the tea forest and started picking. And at this moment, outside the small mountain village, Huolinger and Ji Taixuan, with the three holy emperors, have arrived. Falling outside the small mountain village. Huh? Here, this place. As soon as they landed, the three holy emperors were already stunned. The small mountain village in front of you, at first glance, looks like a vast world, which contains terrifying energy. This place actually makes me have the illusion that I am facing the palace of the true God. I shouldn't. Lin Zhentian murmured. There is such a place in the world, no wonder Zhang Shui can be reborn with a drop of blood. Qin Tianji was very dignified. Zhang Shui, just relying on this place, can grow to the extent of conquering the Forbidden Land. If we get a great opportunity. Duguma Izu's eyes were extremely hot. They were all excited. This is a great opportunity. But at the same time, several people also felt a little apprehensive. We all brought the sword of the ancestral emperor, and we also have the divine treasures with us, so it doesn't matter. Let's go in. They spoke immediately. Huolinger immediately led the way.